So we'll start today's press conference. Joined with us today is head coach and sporting director for Deportiva, Smyrniotis, and captain Kyle Bekker. We have some people in the room first, so we'll open up questions to people in the room first. So if anybody has any questions in the room, we can start.
Coach, Coach, what did you expect from Chivas? They come from 2 victories in a row, but they also come without 4 principal players. What did you expect, and what has changed your analyze from them?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, they may be coming without some players, but this is a squad that's very deep, that's very experienced. There's a lot of good players in the squad, and what we've seen over the last 5 games is a little bit of a different identity than who they were in the Apertura. And I think always a team takes some time to adjust to a new coach. In each game, we see that it's a team with a lot of energy, quality players across the pitch. So, we don't expect a lot to change if players are out of the lineup. They've been playing a lot of games every 4 days. So I think there's normal for there to be some rotation in the squad, but I don't think the tactical identity of the team changes.
I know that one of your philosophies is money doesn't score goals. That's correct?
Yeah, nobody has ever seen a bag of money score goals. Yeah. That's correct.
Next.
Sí, pregunta en español y yo la traduzco. Buenas tardes, por saludarlo. Yo le quisiera preguntar acerca de Fernando Gago, el estilo de juego de Guadalajara, cómo lo describirían y qué piensa en general del fútbol mexicano. He wanted to ask you about Fernando Gago, the head coach of Chivas, and in general the style of soccer that Chivas plays and Mexicans, Liga MX soccer.
Yeah, like I said before, I think there's been a slight change in the team from the previous coach to the new coach in Gago, and we've seen that in these first 5 games. Maybe a little bit more up-tempo, quicker team, trying to play a lot more in transition and trying to attack as quick as possible. Having spent the last 2 weeks in Mexico and watching a lot of Liga MX, I've watched a lot in the past. It's an exciting league. It's an exciting teams. They're always trying to attack. They're always trying to play on the front foot. And I think for the Mexican fans, that's very entertaining. It's a type of football that I like. It's the type of football that we like in our team as well. So I think across the Mexican league, it's a very exciting product for everyone to be watching.
Dice que el profe dice que él se ha dado cuenta de un cambio entre lo que era Panovich y Fernando Gago. El estilo ha cambiado. Estuvieron en México unas semanas, estuvieron con Querétaro, Pachuca, Irapuato, les tocó jugar. Les gusta el estilo de fútbol, a él personalmente le gusta la liga, ataca, es un estilo de liga que le gusta ver ese estilo de fútbol y que le da mucha presencia y mucho que desear para la fanaticada de México. Es un estilo de fútbol que le gusta a él en lo personal.
I think if you're a neutral football fan, you like to watch Liga MX.
Dice que si eres un fanático neutral de fútbol, en general, te gusta ver la Liga MX. Pienso. Otra pregunta.
This one for Kyle. The tactics that Claudio is describing that we probably was facing offensive involved into. We don't usually see that certainly domestic against you, and even some of the international positions. Sometimes they own the possession play against the I assume you're ready for that. Not with
Yeah, I think we have to come into the game with a certain level of humility. They're obviously a massive club. They have very good players, and there's going to be spurts in the game where they're going to have the bulk of the possession. That's just the reality. I think that is, as you mentioned, something we're not necessarily used to in our domestic league when we like to control the pace of the game. But we have to be brave. We have to go out and try and play, and we're not necessarily going to change too much of that in our style. We want to bring that and obviously impose ourselves on the match as best we can.
Besides crowds, but very high percentage of those would be favoring the other team. How does that play in?
I think that's something we're sort of used to as Canadians. I think we've seen in the past, whether it's national teams or teams like Toronto or Montreal or Vancouver who's played in this competition before. The Mexicans, they travel well. They obviously support their team, so I think it'll make for a good atmosphere and something we're looking forward to.
great opportunity to turn some.
Sí, dale.
Quise preguntar, ¿cuáles son los jugadores que no están en los Chivas?
What players from Chivas do you see as, I guess that stand out to you, maybe even a threat?
Yeah, I think there's quality players around the pitch. When you look at the attack, they have a lot of options. Whether you look at Perez, Alvarado, Marin, who's now playing a little bit more. Then you look at the midfield. I think Beltran's an excellent player. He's a player who gets up and down the field and causes a lot of problems. A very brave player, takes shots from anywhere on the pitch. So you can look at each line on the pitch, and I think they do a very good job.
Dice que pues la mayoría no tienen muchas partes que son débiles, digamos que atacan muy bien, sus delanteros son buenos, o sea, acaba de decir Pérez, Marín. Entonces dice que de las tres líneas que ves de lo que tiene Chivas están muy fuertes. Do you have anybody else?
Anybody else in the room?
Yeah.
Okay. Next, we'll head over to Zoom. We'll start off with Charlie O'Connor. Go ahead, Charlie.
Charlie, you taking a nap?
There you go.
Charlie, do you hear us?
Yeah, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, sweet, thank you. I'll start with Kyle, maybe, if that's okay. Kyle, when you guys see an opposing team come to play you and not bring some of their best players, as players yourselves, does that motivate you a little bit to make a statement and to prove that you can go toe to toe with this team?
I think a club of this caliber, they obviously have depth, and 5-6 games into the season already. It's an opportunity for them to maybe have some healthy rotation in the squad. I think it's normal. I think you guys might be fishing a little bit for something there, but yeah, we know there's quality, so it doesn't really matter who they're putting in the lineup.
Only a little bit. And Bobby, just for you, comparing this preparation, I guess, to how you prepared for the Cruz Azul tie a couple of years ago. I know you guys have been in Mexico. You've been, doing altitude training and working very hard. Do you guys feel like maybe you're a little more prepared going into this tie and you know a little bit more what to expect?
No, I think you're always trying to be as prepared as possible. Each team brings a different challenge, but what you do is you pull off the experience of the past. So this isn't the first time we'll play a club from Liga MX, so there's nothing really new to it. What changes is the faces. And it's interesting you ask Kyle a question about players missing, but I don't even think they know who's missing, who's here, who's not. It's not something that we really discuss because we know we're going to face a very, very good team. So I think the biggest thing on your question is you pull off the experiences of the past. You know the pace of the game. You know what's going to be going on from the first whistle at our home. We need to be aggressive. We need to be aggressive from the beginning. And then we need to be tactically strong. That's the most important thing. This game from Forge's end has a clear game plan, a clear tactical plan. And then the rest is the determination of Kyle and the rest of the guys to put in a massive effort. And when we look at this club, we've done it time and time again over the years.
Thanks, Charlie. Next question will go over to Neil Davidson. Go ahead, Neil.
Thank you. Neil Davidson from the Canadian Press. Bobby, your team is no stranger to jumping into the deep end of CONCACAF competition before the CPL season, and I'm assuming it's as ready as it can be. I'm just wondering, what have you learned from past CONCACAF trips in getting ready for it in this short time?
Yeah, first of all, you know that the team from Mexico is much more prepared. They're in mid-season form right now. This will be their 6th game after taking a few weeks off from Apertura to Clausura. So it's a team that's in full stride. So if you think you're going to walk onto the pitch and you're going to match them for on the fitness level, you're wrong. So you have to be very methodical as a team. You have to really plan well and try and get the tactics done as best as possible. But remember, this isn't American football or basketball where there's a lot of whistles. The game starts in the first minute and it keeps on going. So I lean on the players, the experience of the players that they've had in the past to guide themselves through the good moments in the game and through the tough moments in the game.
And just a quick follow-up, if I may. The weather is better than it normally is, but still a lot worse in Guadalajara. Do you wish it was a little colder?
Minus 20 would have been good. This is a little bit too comfortable for everyone. We're going to head down to Guadalajara at 1,800 meters above sea level. And, each place has its special features. So we're hoping if we don't maybe get that cold that we want tomorrow, we get that beautiful wind that comes off the mountain.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Mitchell Tierney. Go ahead, Mitch.
Hey guys, Bobby, for you, I know you guys have made a few new signings. Will those guys be available for the match? And also, is there any other availability updates ahead of tomorrow's game?
Yeah, when we look at some of the new players, they won't be available. So Nana and Eliman Cisse, still waiting on their work permits to come through. So that's something that we look at day by day, and that's part of the process sometimes for us playing so early. For those who forget, our season and our competition will start in April. We've got a long time until then. So we're always very methodical about how we go about our signings, try not to rush into certain things and keeping a right balance. And right now, I think we've got a good balance in this locker room to go try and take care of business in these two matches in what's a very difficult task.
And just to follow up, I know Tristan Henry, there's been questions about his availability going into this match. Is he available for tomorrow?
Yeah, unfortunately, he won't be available for these ties at the moment. Tristan's taken some personal time off to deal with a very personal matter. We're behind him on that, and we continue forward.
Thanks so much, Bobby.
Thanks, Mitch. Next question goes over to David Parks. Go ahead, David.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear.
Perfect. All right, hello, Coach. Hello, Kyle. Good to hear from you guys as always. I'll start with you, Coach. Someone took my initial question, so I'll ask a different one. What do you feel will be the most difficult challenge about taking on Chivas? At this point, obviously you mentioned the fact that they're already into their season, the 111-year plus years existence before Forge. What do you feel will be the biggest challenge from your side?
Yeah, to be honest, the biggest one is just the level of preparation. They have official matches under their belt. They're in full swing. They're playing every 4 days, which is a good thing, and it's also a tough thing for them. And I know as a coach, it's a tough thing to be able to juggle domestic competition and wanting to do well there and taking care of international competition. But they're a team that's in full stride, and I think that's what will be a little bit of the difference that we have to balance and we have to be smart with. We can't take this game and make it into a multi-transitional football match. Then it becomes difficult for the team that's not as physically prepared week in, week out. So, I think that's the biggest thing we have to look at. And to do that, we must be controlled on both sides of the ball, whether we're higher up on the field or a little bit lower in our own half of the field.
Absolutely. If I may quickly follow up, Kyle, towards you now. Obviously, you'll be the one playing on the field tomorrow night. I did see the weather forecast. It's supposed to be around 0 for the match. Obviously, the previous question was asking Bobby if you guys wish it was colder, but still, obviously, Chivas won't be used to that temperature. Do you think that will at least level the playing field a little bit for you guys on the field tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, if it was colder, it would have been nicer, but that is what it is. So. The reality is it's going to be a great game or a great night for a game. So I'm just going to go out and try and enjoy it.
Thanks to you both. Best of luck.
Thanks, David. And last question goes over to Brendan Q. Go ahead, Brendan.
Thanks, Nico. Hey, Bobby. Hey, Kyle. Just not to rehash some of the previous questions, but obviously, given the realities of the schedule, this comes in preseason for you guys. Just wondering from a signing perspective and getting prepared for the CanPL season versus where this slots in on the schedule for you guys. Going back to that Cruz Azul experience a couple of years ago, is there something specific that you guys have learned in terms of how to prepare a team, given that not all the pieces are here? As you mentioned, you have availability issues from work permits and thus. Is there something specific that you've learned that you've been able to put into effect this time around?
I think as coaches, it's not so much of the signings and how we prepare, but it's more of how we prepare to play 2 matches to give us an opportunity to play another 2. It's a unique thing from a coaching standpoint to prepare a team that you're not preparing for a full season. You're not preparing for 30 matches in the CPL. So I think we've looked at what we did in the past in preparation with Cruz Azul, and we've looked at making certain changes there to keep the guys as sharp and as ready as possible for 2 matches, and not really looking beyond that, because that's what we're doing here. We're playing 2 to give us an opportunity to play another 2, and that's the goal. We're not here to play a couple of matches against a big club and see how it goes. We're here to give us an opportunity to move into the next round. But in doing that, I think we've changed a lot in the way we've prepared physically for the match, keeping our tactical identity in shape, but really in the preparation physically of the players and trying to keep them as fresh as possible for these 2 matches.
Thanks, Bobby, and to you, Kyle. A little bit on that tactical understanding that the club has developed over the last couple of years. As a player on the field, understanding that the fitness won't necessarily be there for the entire 90 compared to Chivas being 6 games into their season. How do you rely on those tactical, familiarity aspects on the field, especially considering that a guy like Mondragar has left the club for Alajuelense, but you've brought back Eleman Cisse, who's a guy you've played with for so many games all those years back. Those partnerships in the middle of the field there. Just wondering if you could comment on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Coach kind of touched on it. It's the preparation. It's unique. It has a unique challenge for us. We have 2 of our biggest games right at the very start of the season, and something that you kind of just got to lean into. I think we've been given every opportunity to have the best preparation we could have through the club, and what we've been able to do in this preseason. We've had competitive matches, had a heavy preseason, which is important, and then it's a matter of going into the game and doing the business. I think acknowledging that we're not necessarily where they will be fitness-wise is the first step, and then just playing smart throughout the game. It's going to come down to the details. It's going to come down to game management. We just got to be sharp from that first whistle.
Appreciate it, guys.